Yeah, but it would be very easy to kind of drop undercover and say, woe is me.
Yeah.
And there's some woe. I was pretty unlucky. I came from a single parent home, and my mom passed away when I was 13. And that was significant because I would find out later that the guy I thought was my dad turned out to be my brother's dad, and I had a different dad altogether. Now, looking back on it, it seems to me that I was looking around my neighborhood. I was actually pretty lucky because some of the things that the other kids were going through, I wasn't going through that. But this set me back, and there's no question about that. But I tell you, worse than any of those things that happened, which I call just bad fortune, was made 100 times worse by a young guy shooting from the hip and trying to solve problems on his own without any guidance. Because that, to me, was my issue. I just had a shortage of personnel, given a little bit of information, what a father might say to his son or a mother to straighten him out or kind of steer him on the right course before you make this mistake that's going to cost you a decade, which is exactly what happened. And it was all my own fault, but they didn't just fall from the sky.
No.
This all came from somewhere. So anyway, this song is, I call this song Speranza. Speranza is the Spanish word for hope. And the reason I got that, I was watching yet another documentary, as a matter of fact, and the documentary was regarding Oscar Wilde. And Oscar Wilde, a fascinating documentary. Oscar Wilde was the greatest literary mind of his time. Everybody knows that. But what they forget is he was destroyed socially and ultimately physically because of his nature. He had a different sexual orientation. He was just ahead of his time, and just in his humanity and in his brain, his thought processes, and so on. But he was definitely not welcome in that era, so he was basically destroyed. Now that documentary began talking about his mother, and his mother used to write a column in the London Gazette under the name Speranza, which is the Italian word for hope, as I said. And they went on with this fascinating documentary, and by the end of it, as he was dying in a sanitarium, as the story goes, I took note of the fact that they never went back to his mother. And I wondered what his mother was thinking as she was witnessing the demise of her son. Which, of course, by the third verse had me thinking what my mother's thinking, watching me, screw it up or whatever, and come back. So by the third verse of this song, I found myself writing to my own mom. So this song is called Speranza. Speranza, Lady Jane, or Mrs. Wilde, tell me, how's your child? Is he happy, warm and free? Will there be time enough to know all about him as he grows? And are you feeling a certain similarity? Imagination, truth and lies, so easy to disguise. Just another way to duck and hide. And greener grass may always fade. The lifestyle that remains, it's not always what we visualize. Speranza, with the written word, it's the loveliest voice I've ever known, but it's one I've never heard. If life's a book of colors, the numbers all the same, then I am flipping through the pages, but I cannot find your name. Speranza, my Speranza, where you live outside the standards of the time. Tell me, what's the awful crime? Is it really gross indecency? Can Constance turn a blind eye as the girl? A hideous Philistine world, the accusations of Sir Queensbury. Many suitors by the by, cigarette cases all inscribed, services rendered is what they say. Ink and paint's the only voice, and Bosie the only choice of a portrait of Dorian Gray. Speranza, with a written word, it's the loveliest voice I've ever known, but it's one I've never heard. Your life's a book of colors, the numbers all the same. Then I am flipping through the pages, but I cannot find your name. Speranza, my Speranza. Can you smile now, Sandra B? And is your spirit free? Yes, I wonder, are you proud of me? As far away as time allows, not much older than I am now, when they took you away from me. And recollections of the pain, not a memory, but a stain, more injustice than I've ever seen. And more bad news this Saturday, my Speranza's gone away. Happy birthday for your sweet 13. Speranza, with a written word, it's the loveliest voice I've ever known, but it's one I've never heard. Your life's a book of colors, the numbers all the same. Then I am flipping through the pages, but I cannot find Speranza, with a written word. It's the loveliest voice I've ever known, but it's one I've never heard. Your life's a book of colors, the numbers all the same. Then I am flipping through the pages, so desperate to find your name. Speranza, my Speranza. Remember Sandra, hey, hey, my surrender.
Jeff Bonang and the Wolf Den from Studio Jaydubya in Spryfield, Nova Scotia.